So, what is your dream? Find out what it is and make it something big, guys. Make it something that's going to keep you going. It can't be something like, well, I'd like to be out of debt. Sure, we'd all like to be out of debt, but is that what's going to get you up in the morning an hour before your kids or an hour before your alarm is supposed to go off? Is what's going to keep you up at night to do your IPA before you go to sleep? Make sure your cause and your why that you're doing this is enough. Make sure it's big enough and put it in front of your face, put it where you can see it. The second thing is, once you decide that this is something you want to do, I just want to encourage you guys with being coachable. My first Facebook post that I ever made in all my yellowness was me pledging that I would never send a cold message and pursue anyone. I would wait for people to come to me because I thought, surely if this is what I'm supposed to do, then people are just going to flock to me. I mean, that would be my confirmation. But that's not the case, guys. Anything worth having takes work. And as you know, if you have been around this earth long at all, anything that is good for us always requires serious growth and stretching and pulling us way further outside our comfort zone than we ever wanted to be. But it's always, always worth it. And I think relationships, parenting, marriage are the most perfect examples of that. A business that is going to bless you for a lifetime and leave a legacy for your children is the same way. It is going to grab you and pull you way outside your comfort zone. You're going to be in situations you never would have chosen to be in, and yet you're going to come out on the other side so much more equipped and so much stronger. So I want to share with you guys real quick the 2 moments that I realized this not only could be possible, but that it would actually happen. The first moment is when I realized that my way was not the greatest way. That reaching out to people in person was great and genuine, and that has its place. But guys, not cold messaging doesn't get you anywhere. And not getting anywhere in this business gets old real fast. And I mean real fast. You're ready to throw in the towel when you see this thing not going anywhere. So, when I realized that I would have to cold message people in order to reach my goals, I was terrified. Flat out terrified. I mean, I had a nauseous feeling in the pit of my stomach. My armpits would soak my shirt when I pulled up my messenger app to check my inbox to see if people had responded to me. Guys, you are talking to a serious introvert right now, okay? Introverts can be emeralds and they can be diamonds. It is not easy, but it is so possible, okay? So don't be thinking, Abby, you don't understand. I understand. I hear you, friends. And I promise you, it gets better. And here's how. I'm going to tell you how. I realized really quickly that if I was going to have to send out these cold messages, that sending out 1 and 2 a day never got any easier. I was equally terrified every single time, and my response times to people would be slower and slower and slower because I was so afraid of what they were going to think. So I thought the only way, and hear me, write this down, the only way to conquer your fears, friends, is with action. So because I was the most afraid of cold messaging, I decided that I was going to slay cold messaging. I immediately started messaging 10 to 20 people a day. I would stay up late into the night, get up early in the morning until I had literally crushed that fear beneath my feet. It is possible. Whatever it is in this business you are most afraid of, do it. Do it as soon as you can, because let me tell you, every fear that you allow to remain inside your mind and push it back without thinking you can work this business around that fear, friends, you don't even see it, but it is holding you hard and fast. I promise you, any fear, any area you are unwilling to go into is a shackle that's going to hold you back so long until you are burnt out and tired and you're going to start thinking this business is just not for you, but it is. The thing is that is not for you is fear. Fear is not for you. So conquer your fears with action. Tonight, I want you to write down the 3 things you are most afraid of doing in this business, and I want you to do them starting tonight before you go to bed, and do them again tomorrow when you wake up. Crush those fears beneath your feet. That will be huge for you. It's so different, guys. I actually enjoy messaging people. When I see people I don't love sending cold messages. It's something that I'm kind of just like middle ground now. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't scare me. I've crushed the fear, and it's just kind of something I check off my to-do list every day. But I love hearing back from people. I love seeing the curiosity and the hope that people try to bridle and hold back in their responses to me. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know what I have to offer and I'm not ashamed. The second thing is a night in November last year in 2015. I did Jessica Heffley's October long challenge. It was a month-long challenge called Maui Momentum. For those of you in Maui Marathon right now, it's the same thing. So congrats! This is the biggest deal ever for you. But I did that month-long challenge, and that's when I learned that working your business a few days a week, or when you have time, or when you feel like it, or when you're not super tired, is not good enough. In October, I learned those lessons, and it made me so much better. So in November, my business picked up a lot. I realized that I had the potential to go Ruby. And there was a night in November, the last day of November actually, where I was praying every night, just like I always do, that the Lord would bless my business. And I felt a knife straight to my heart. And I felt like the Lord told me, Abby, you're asking me to bless something. You want me to pour out all my blessings on something that you have not put all of your effort into. I had put in good effort. Guys, at that point, I was working my business every day. I was doing my bare minimum, okay? And I was wanting the Lord in turn to pour all his favor and all his blessing out on me. And he told me that that's not always how it works, okay? If we want the Lord to bless our efforts, then it's our job to be faithful stewards of what he gives us. And right then and there, I knew that in my story, in my walk with the Lord, what he could trust me with in the future was on the line. And I promise you, there has not been a day since then that I have not been guns blazing for this mission, because I want the Lord to entrust me with so much more. I want him to call me his faithful servant. I want him to give me more relationships. I want him to give me more blessing, more favor, more children, more responsibilities in his kingdom. I want him to give me things that he thinks I can handle. And how could I ask for any more in my life if I couldn't even be a good steward of the task and the business that he had given me to do? So when you see those videos on that team page that are so intense and driven, and there's no holding back, there's no middle ground, there's no balance, so you see, know that that's where the fire comes from. It comes from a commitment that is way bigger than wanting to live in my dream hometown. It's way bigger than a free trip to Hawaii every year with my husband. It's way, way bigger than just being able to write $1,000 checks to fund adoptions and things that we're passionate about. It's bigger than that. It's between me and my Jesus and what I believe he has called me to do and what he's given me. And I want to absolutely please him with all my heart above all else. So that is where my fire comes from, and that is the night that unlocked my roar. In December, the next day, I went to my sponsor, Jessica Heffley, and I asked her to be brutally honest with me. I wanted to be the more coachable than I had ever been before. I asked her to point out every area that she thought I was slacking in, that I could become better in, and every task she gave me, I would do it, and I would do it again, and I would do twice that much, and I would go back for more and ask her for the next thing. And guys, our team exploded. Our numbers doubled and then tripled, and then we went emerald 3 months earlier than our projected date. It is absolutely amazing, not only with how the Lord will bless you when you are faithful and consistent with drawing your line in the sand, but it's amazing what will happen to your teams. You set the bar for them, okay? When you are talking to a teammate and they're telling you they didn't have time to get it in that day, don't just feel for them. The thing that we say, feel, felt, found, those are all vital parts, okay? You can't just give them a feeling without telling them what you found. So when your teammate comes to you and says, I didn't have time, the baby was crying, and my husband had to go to work early, and I was so tired, and I just didn't want to get my IPA in, so all I did was watch a video. You can tell them, girl, I feel you. I understand. I've had those days, but don't leave it there. Tell them what you found. Tell them that you found that it's so worth it to do it, even on the days you hate it, even on the days you feel like you have nothing to give, to pull yourself up and to do it again. Tell them what is on the other side of that. Tell them what you found. So feel, felt, found. And for those of you that are all red with less yellow in you, don't just talk about your found. When your teammate is coming to you making excuses, don't say, well, here's what you need to do. Remember to empathize and tell them you understand how they feel. So all three of those are very, very key components. Feel, felt, found. Don't do one without the other. Keep it all inclusive, and that is the secret to coaching your team to walk in the same consistency and the same determination that you're walking in. You are the leader. Even if you have one person on your team, it is your responsibility, your joy, and your privilege to lead them to success in their dreams and their missions for their life. That's what I've got for you guys tonight. I hope this helps. I would love to hear from you guys and get to talk with you about where you're at in your journey. So I will be available to all of you this week. Message me.